Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Ready to jump into some fascinating AI stuff today.
Always ready.
Great. So today, we're heading over to China
Okay.
to explore the big story everyone's talking about, DeepSeek, this large language model that's been making headlines.
Yeah, it's really captured everyone's attention, hasn't it?
It really has. And what's really interesting is that it's become this symbol of national pride for China, this sign that they can compete, on the global AI stage.
Yeah, it's not just about the technology itself, it's about what it represents.
Exactly. So our guide for this deep dive is this really cool article from AI Times, this Korean AI news site.
Oh yeah, I read that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. And they've captured all the excitement and the challenges and all the potential turning points of this whole DeepSeek phenomenon.
They really get into the rapid fire world of AI development and where DeepSeek fits in.
Yeah, exactly. So let's dive right in. So this article calls it DeepSeek mania. So picture this, right? NVIDIA, the big U.S. chip-making company, their stock takes a dip.
Okay.
And suddenly DeepSeek explodes in popularity in China.
Interesting.
It's almost like a counter-narrative,
Yeah, DeepSeek is filling this void, becoming this, beacon of hope for technological independence.
Right, because China's been trying to, reduce its reliance on Western tech, especially in these, strategically important fields.
Like AI, exactly.
So it's not just an AI, it's a symbol.
It's become this powerful symbol.
Yeah. And get this, the article even talks about the founder, Liang Wenfeng, being hailed as a national hero. Celebrations in his hometown and everything.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. His hometown, decked out in banners, calling him the pride of our hometown.
Wow. Talk about a glow up, right?
Yeah, it's crazy how fast he became this symbol of, China's tech ambitions.
It is. And here's the funny part. Ready for this? The article mentions that people were actually surprised when they saw Liang's actual photo because it was different from the one that was going around online.
Oh, wow. Seriously.
That's hilarious. I know, right? But it shows you how quickly this whole thing happened. He went from, relative obscurity to this national icon practically overnight.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
It is. Okay, so DeepSeek is this huge phenomenon, but what are people actually using it for? Is it just tech experts playing around with it?
Not at all. The AI Times article gives all these examples of regular people using it for all sorts of things. It's pretty wild.
Like what?
Well, think of a law professor using DeepSeek to analyze the possible outcomes of trade tariffs, or stock analysts getting investment advice.
Wait, hold on. A stock analyst is trusting AI with their investments.
It seems so, and that really shows you the level of trust people have in this technology. It's pretty remarkable.
It is.
But it gets even wilder. People are using DeepSeek for fortune-telling, getting advice on relationships, even trying to understand their past lives.
Past lives. Okay, that is definitely not how we usually see AI being used in the West.
Right.
It's like DeepSeek is this all-knowing digital oracle.
Yeah, there's definitely this cultural element at play, this willingness to embrace AI for a wider range of things, things that we might consider unconventional in other parts of the world.
Right. Okay, so we got the hype, the national pride, the unique ways people are using it, but let's talk about the tech itself. What's powering this AI superstar?
This is where it gets really interesting. DeepSeek runs on Huawei's Ascend 910C chip.
Okay.
But here's the thing. That chip is about 5 years old.
5 years old?
Yeah, which in the world of AI hardware is practically ancient.
That's like using a flip phone when everyone has a smartphone. So how is DeepSeek doing all these impressive things with what's basically outdated tech?
Well, the article points out that just using this older homegrown chip is being seen as a win, like a victory in itself. There's even this buzz around the claim that this Ascend chip reached 60% of the performance of NVIDIA's cutting-edge H100 chip.
60% performance using a chip that's 5 years old.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing.
It really fuels this whole narrative of China overcoming these tech hurdles and achieving a level of self-reliance.
Yeah, I could see why that would resonate with people.
It's a big deal.
It is. But here's the big question. Can this DeepSeek mania really last? I mean, the AI world is so competitive, new players pop up all the time.
You're absolutely right to ask that. And the AI Times article actually addresses that head on. They say that just 2 weeks after DeepSeek's release, newer AI models from both China and the US were already claiming to outperform it.
So right out of the gate, DeepSeek is facing some serious competition.
It definitely puts the pressure on. This whole situation reminds me of what happened with OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It felt like every other week a new AI model was being announced.
Exactly. So how did OpenAI manage to stay ahead in that kind of environment?
Good question.
Through constant innovation, they just kept releasing newer and more powerful versions of their models. The article even lists some of them. O3 Mini Operators Deep Research, all launched in a very short amount of time.
Wow, that's moving fast. Can DeepSeek keep up with that pace, especially if they're relying on older tech?
That's the million-dollar question. While DeepSeek's cost-effectiveness is a big advantage, the article points out that if competitors can match its performance and price,
Game changer.
exactly, DeepSeek's initial advantage could disappear overnight.
It's like they need to be constantly innovating.
In the AI world, standing still is basically moving backwards.
So DeepSeek has this amazing momentum, but it's also facing some serious challenges. And there's another layer to this whole story, right? The global reaction to DeepSeek hasn't been all positive.
That's right. There's another big piece of the puzzle we need to talk about, the growing international scrutiny surrounding DeepSeek. It's not just about the tech itself. It's about data security, global regulations, all of that.
Okay, yeah, let's dive into that in the next part, because it seems like this DeepSeek story is just getting started.
Definitely.
It's a wild ride.
It is. You know what makes this whole DeepSeek thing even more interesting is like all the data security concerns.
Right, it's not just about the AI itself.
It's about how AI interacts with, the whole world, especially when you have something as powerful as DeepSeek.
So how is the rest of the world reacting to DeepSeek? What's the vibe?
Well, the AI Times article lays it out pretty clearly. It's not just a few people raising eyebrows. We're talking the U.S. Congress, the Department of Defense, even NASA have banned the use of DeepSeek because of data security worries.
Wow, those are some big names. Is it just the U.S., though?
Nope, not at all. Italy and Taiwan have completely banned DeepSeek, and Australia's thinking about doing the same. Then you've got countries like France, the UK launching investigations. Oh, and South Korea's Personal Information Protection Commission is looking into it too.
Wait, South Korea. Isn't that where the AI Times article's from?
Exactly, and they mention that DeepSeek has over 1.2 million weekly users in South Korea.
Wow. So that's a lot of people who could be affected.
Depending on what they find, yeah.
So we've got governments, military organizations, even space agencies all raising red flags. What's the main issue here? Why are they so worried about DeepSeek specifically?
Well, think about it. Any large language model, it learns by analyzing tons and tons of data, right?
Right.
So the worry is that DeepSeek's data collection practices, maybe they're not as transparent or as secure as they need to be.
So the concern is that, sensitive information could end up in the wrong hands, even accidentally.
That's part of it. Another concern is whether governments have enough control over how DeepSeek is being used, within their own borders. Remember, we were talking about AI nationalism before.
Right.
Countries want to be able to regulate powerful AI, especially when it comes to things like national security and, people's privacy.
So it's almost like this clash between DeepSeek's global ambitions and the desire for countries to have control over AI within their own borders?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. This tension is something DeepSeek and really any AI that wants to be global is going to have to figure out.
Okay, so we've got the competition DeepSeek's facing from other AI models, and now we've got these global data concerns. It's like this AI is being pulled in all these different directions.
It really makes you wonder what's going to happen to DeepSeek. Can they keep up this momentum they've built?
Okay, let's play what if for a minute. What's the best case scenario for DeepSeek in all of this?
Well, the ideal situation would be that DeepSeek keeps innovating, stays ahead of the competition, and also finds a way to address these global concerns about data security in a way that satisfies everyone.
So it's a balancing act. They have to be at the cutting edge of tech, but also play by the rules, even when the rules are still being figured out.
Exactly, and the stakes are high. The AI Times article kind of hints that if DeepSeek stumbles, if they can't keep up or address these data worries, they could end up as just another, forgotten AI.
That's kind of a scary thought. Even with all this hype and national support, DeepSeek could still just fade away.
It's possible the AI world changes so fast. What's groundbreaking today could be old news tomorrow. DeepSeek has to keep pushing the boundaries if they want to stay relevant.
It's like they're running a marathon, but the finish line keeps moving further away. But there's another aspect to all of this, right? We were talking earlier about the philosophical implications of DeepSeek.
Oh, absolutely. We've covered the tech, the competition, the regulations, but we can't forget about those deeper questions DeepSeek raises, about our relationship with artificial intelligence.
It's easy to get lost in the technical stuff and forget that AI is ultimately a reflection of us. Our creativity, our ingenuity, even our anxieties, all of that gets coded into these machines.
That's a really important point. And DeepSeek, with how popular it is in China, it's a perfect example. Remember how people are turning to it for fortune-telling and advice about their personal lives? That's not something you see as much in the West.
Right. Like DeepSeek, it's filling this deeper cultural need, almost like a digital oracle that guides people through life's uncertainties.
It really is, but it does make you think about the ethical questions.
Right, because is it healthy to put so much trust in a machine, especially one that's still being developed?
That's where the ethics come in. As AI gets more and more advanced, we have to be careful not to blur the lines between human connection and AI interaction.
Right.
DeepSeek is powerful, but it's still a tool. It's not a substitute for human relationships or, personal growth.
And that's where all those global concerns about data security become even more important, right? If people are sharing these really personal things with DeepSeek, we have to make sure that information is protected.
Absolutely. The AI Times article really stresses that transparency and accountability are key. Users need to know how their data is being used, and there need to be protections in place to prevent misuse or breaches.
It's a lot to think about. DeepSeek is this amazing tech achievement, a source of national pride, and it has the potential to do a lot of good. But it also comes with these ethical and regulatory challenges that we can't just ignore.
It's a good reminder that progress always comes with responsibility. We can't just focus on what AI can do. We have to think about what it should do.
So as we leave our listeners to ponder all of this, what's the one thing you hope they'll take away from this deep dive into DeepSeek? It's wild to think about DeepSeek as this digital oracle. It really feels like a different way of thinking about AI.
Yeah, it's a whole different perspective, isn't it?
It is. In the West, we usually see AI as like a tool, right? Something to help us with tasks or give us information.
Yeah.
But with DeepSeek in China, there's this whole other layer of like spiritual guidance almost.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It is. I keep thinking about those examples from the AI Times article, people asking for relationship advice or career guidance, even trying to connect with their past lives.
I know, it's wild.
It's like they're looking to DeepSeek for answers to these big life questions.
The article even quotes someone saying, DeepSeek understands me in a way no human ever could.
Wow. That's a pretty powerful statement.
It is. It really shows how deeply people are connecting with this AI.
But is that a good thing? Like, is it healthy to put so much trust in a machine, especially one that's still being developed?
That's where things get tricky, right? That's where the ethical considerations come into play.
Right.
As AI gets more and more advanced, we have to be really careful not to mix up human connection with AI interaction.
Yeah.
DeepSeek is a powerful tool, but it's still just that, a tool. It's not a replacement for real human relationships or, doing your own thinking and growing.
And that's where all those global concerns about data security become even more important.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
If people are sharing these incredibly personal things with DeepSeek, we have to be sure that information is protected.
Right. And the AI Times article talks about that too. It emphasizes that transparency and accountability are essential.
Right.
People need to know what's happening with their data, and there have to be strong safeguards to prevent, misuse or data breaches.
So much to think about. DeepSeek is this amazing technological feat, this point of national pride, and it could potentially be a force for good in the world.
Yeah.
But it also has these ethical and regulatory hurdles that we can't just sweep under the rug.
It all comes back to that idea of responsible development, right?
Exactly. As we wrap up this deep dive into DeepSeek, what's the one key message you want listeners to take away?
I think the most important thing is to approach AI with a sense of informed curiosity, Be excited about the possibilities, but also keep in mind the potential downsides.
Be aware.
Yeah. DeepSeek is like a window into the future of AI, a future where these technologies are going to be a bigger and bigger part of our lives.
Right.
So it's up to all of us to shape that future in a responsible way.
Well said. And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of DeepSeek. We hope you've gained some new insights into the ever-changing landscape of AI and all the challenges and opportunities it presents.
It's a fascinating world out there.
It is. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.